Welcome into Celtics post-game live. Eddie House, Amina Smith here with you in a heavyweight battle between the OKC Thunder and the Boston Celtics. However, OKC getting the best of Boston, winning this one 127-123. Eddie, a back-and-forth matchup, two of the top teams in the NBA. What made the difference tonight?
I thought SGA just was unguardable. You know, he was able to get to his spots, get there when he wanted to, and it was a good game. I mean, you could see both teams are really talented on the offensive side of the ball. They could get after you defensively. I thought there were some big shots Chet Holmgren made down there in the stretch, some threes. So they made the plays that they needed to make to win this game. No slight to anything that the Celtics did. They tried what they mounted a comeback. They just was a little short, and it's like that sometimes. You know, you take your lumps, you take your lick, and you move on to the next game. But this OKC team is for real.
Definitely for real. Gilgeous-Alexander with 36 points in this win. Let's take a look at how things went down in that third quarter where OKC really, they blew the doors open. This presented by the Massachusetts Health Connector. It's open enrollment at the Massachusetts Health Connector. Act now and stay covered at mahealthconnector.org. They outscored the Celtics 40-25. Also 11 assists to the Celtics 7. And the Celtics with 2 turnovers in that third quarter. That was the most points allowed by the Celtics in the third quarter this season. Eddie, usually after the game, we're here talking about how well the Celtics played in the third quarter. What happened tonight?
It's one of those weird games, man. The other team making shots, especially in that third quarter, it was like we were a step late on rotation. You see how easy guys would get to the basket right here and getting those layups and just no contest, hand down, and the shot go up without the contest and getting into the paint. So, I mean, you got to give credit to OKC. They came out. I knew they would play with a lot of energy. Third quarter always has been like our turning point, right? Are we going to be that team that plays well in the third quarter? Or are we going to come out and kind of sleepwalk into the third quarter? And a team like OKC, you can't play around with them. They're too talented. They got a lot of guys out there that can score, and they understand how to play the game, and they play well together. So that third quarter was crucial, but still had opportunities to win. But they got to look back at that third quarter and say that's probably the one that cost them.
All right, let's bring in Scal and Drew Carter, who are live at courtside. And Scal, I heard you talking about the coaching matchup during the broadcast. Why was it such a high-level type of game out there, not only coaching-wise, but on the court as well?
Because we weren't going to win this game just coming out and saying, all right, let's just lace them up, roll them out there, because we got more talent than them. I know we do have more talent, but on this night, Oklahoma City, they were cracking us off the dribble. We couldn't keep guys in front of us. Joe Mazzulla was going to have to work today. He was going to have to earn that check today because he was going to have to find a way to figure out a weakness of Oklahoma City or exploit Chet Holmgren being on the perimeter or crash the glass or get Jason Tatum in positions where he can dominate and we can have solid spacing where we don't give up, end up giving up a layup on the other end of the floor. So, and Dagnall did the same thing. Refused to set screens and slipping out of screens and driving right off of that. It was a high-level coaching battle today.
Both those guys from New England, for what it's worth. Dagnall's from Leominster, Mass, and Mazzulla's from Rhode Island. Dagnall grew up a big Celtics fan, as Abby was talking about, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, there was so much talent on the floor and 2 great coaches. Also, give Mazzulla credit for keeping Peyton Pritchard on the floor down the stretch, too. You mentioned that during the
game. I thought, I mean, you got Drew Holiday, you got Al Horford, and I really thought that Peyton Pritchard's defense, his energy was going to make a difference, and he went with him. And I just thought, like, that's not an easy thing to do when you're sitting a future Hall of Famer and Drew Holiday, and same thing with Al Horford to go with Peyton Pritchard. He wasn't like burning it up today, but I thought he made a big difference.
And I looked at really what I'm excited about and hope I can see some carryovers. What Jason Tatum did in that fourth quarter to SGA. I know SGA balled out. You're going to look up. You're going to see 36 points. You're going to see the efficiency. But for the most part in that fourth quarter, when Jason Tatum said, hey, I'm going to take this challenge, he kept him out of the paint. He made him make passes. He controlled and dictated exactly where he wanted SGA to go. SGA was going wherever he wanted to all single night. So to me, I think the silver lining in this loss, and you always learn from a win, but I think the silver lining in this loss is, hey, Jason Tatum, you see you could turn it up, and he could do things like that. I remember there was I was in a series when I was with Miami, and LeBron guarded D Rose in the fourth quarter. He didn't guard him the whole game, but in the fourth quarter, he attacked him in the fourth quarter and made it extremely tough on D Rose. And that I could see that could be part of Jason Tatum's identity, defensive identity, maybe moving forward, is say, hey, you know, I'm going to guard other guys, but in the fourth quarter, whoever that guy is, he shows his versatility today because, I mean, SGA is a tough guard.
And Scal, go ahead, Scal.
I was just going to say, like, people don't know this. Like, just like you can have offensive tendencies, you like to drive left, you pull up, whatever, you can also have defensive tendencies. And it did seem like to me, like what Eddie's saying, Tatum would play with his hands up. So when you saw Drew Holiday on him, he was squeaking by and he was doing those layups. But with Tatum, he was gapping him. And I felt like it threw SGA off a little bit. So you could have good matchups at certain times. So I wonder, when we play this team again, if Jason Tatum says, you know what, Drew, why don't you guard Chet? And I'll guard SGA. You know, because typically on paper, Drew is supposed to be our best defender. But no disrespect to Drew tonight, but he couldn't keep him in front. He would body him up, and SGA would just slip right by and get a layup. So I just really thought the matchup of Tatum with his big size and keeping that gap was really hard for SGA. So I'm already looking forward to this next matchup when they play again.
And Scott, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because now that you've seen OKC up close and personal, how legit are they as contenders? And knowing that, Drew, you kind of teased that also in the pregame show that it could be an NBA Finals preview.
Nah, they don't got it. Sorry. They're good. They're good.
Okay.
But they just don't have enough size. They just don't have enough size. In the playoffs, you can start moving guys around. I'm sorry. I like the team. I love the way they play. I love that they drive. They just don't have enough size.
Here's the thing, though, guys, with Oklahoma City. We've talked about Sam Presti. We know that he's got more first-round picks than anybody. They have a ton of young dudes. I mean, I'm building my board for today. I'm like, all these dudes are 25 or younger.
Yeah.
They have a move they can make. If they want to go for it this year, they absolutely can.
I can tell you, it's Miles Turner. That's the move. They need a guy like that. A guy who can stretch it and block shots.
Miles Turner's been living in the trade machine for the last 5 years, and he's never left Indiana.
All I'm saying, it could be a guy like that, but they need more size. That's it. Yeah. Chet is fine. He's not enough. It's not enough to win in the playoffs. If you go against LeBron and AD, that's not going to work. I'm not saying they're the only team, but you got to have more size.
Maybe some of the dudes that Celtics fans want the Celtics to bring in, like Kelly Olynyk, could he fit here in Oklahoma City?
Maybe. Well, they got a lot of picks.
It was enough size to beat the Celtics tonight. All right, thanks so much, guys. Let's take a break here on Celtics Post-Game Live. Another look at that final score, 127-123. Coming up, we hear from head coach Joe Mazzulla. Stay with us.